Welcome back. So, while traders are watching Bitcoin charts and debating support levels, another market is sending shockwaves through the entire global economy. Oil. Over the past several days, oil prices have surged dramatically as geopolitical tensions in the Middle East intensified. At certain points during the weekend, Brent crude briefly traded above $110 per barrel, with some markets seeing spikes as high as $116. And the reason for that spike centers on one of the most important shipping lanes on Earth, the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow passage between Iran and Oman carries roughly 20% of the world's oil supply. Any disruption there immediately sends energy markets into panic mode. And as tensions between the United States, Israel, and Iran escalated over the weekend, traders began pricing in the possibility of supply interruptions. Explosions reported near Gulf infrastructure and heightened military activity across the region only amplified those fears. In response, leaders of the G7 nations are now discussing potential emergency releases from their strategic petroleum reserves. The idea would be simple: increase global supply quickly in order to cap prices and prevent a full-scale energy shock. But until those decisions are finalized, markets remain extremely sensitive to every headline coming out of the region. And that volatility hasn't been limited to energy markets. It has spilled directly into crypto. Over the past several sessions, major digital assets, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Solana, have all experienced sell-offs ranging from 1 to 5% during periods of heightened geopolitical news. That's because, despite its reputation as an alternative financial system, crypto still behaves like a risk asset during global uncertainty. When traders become nervous about war, energy supply, or inflation, they often reduce exposure to speculative assets first. And interestingly, some traders are now turning to an entirely new tool to hedge that volatility. On decentralized exchanges, tokenized oil perpetual contracts have seen a sharp spike in trading activity. These synthetic assets allow traders to speculate directly on oil prices without leaving the crypto ecosystem. In other words, crypto traders are now hedging geopolitical energy risk inside the blockchain economy itself. So what happens next? If the G7 moves forward with large reserve releases, oil prices could stabilize somewhere around $100 to $110 per barrel. That would likely reduce macro pressure on financial markets and potentially allow crypto assets to recover. But if tensions escalate further, or if shipping through the Strait of Hormuz becomes disrupted, oil prices could push toward $120 or higher. And that scenario would likely bring additional volatility across both traditional and crypto markets. So while crypto traders often focus on blockchain developments and on-chain metrics, sometimes most important signals for Bitcoin come from places far outside the digital world, including the global energy market.